Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a great start to your week. Welcome to So What? Be sure to let me know where you're watching from in the comments and in the live chat here. And if you're joining us from Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, I would love to know. As long as you are engaging with me somehow during the post today, or during the video, I should say today, that means putting your questions and comments in the live chat, giving me those thumbs up, somehow chatting with me here today. You are automatically eligible for today's gift from Sulky. That's right, I will pick one lucky viewer to win a 6-pack of Filaine thread. That is our 100% acrylic thread, and it's a heavyweight thread. It's 12-weight thread, and it has a really strong core, but the outer fibers of the thread are quite fuzzy, and that is on purpose, so that when we brush it out with a wire brush, it actually has the look of faux fur. It's a little bit hard to see here, but it's quite textured. It's almost yarn-like when you embroider with it. You can use it for handwork. You can also use it for machine sewing. I love the look of using the Filaine thread for big stitch quilting because it has that sort of yarn type look to it. So you can get a really vintage style looking quilt using this thread. It's great for a variety of projects. And we have a special spring Filaine 6-pack. It's called Bunny, what's it called? I put it in the description of today's post, which is where you're going to find all the links for everything I'm talking about today. Let's see, it's called Egg Hunt. So it's perfect for Easter coming up soon, but also just has those great pastel colors that we're all using around springtime. All right, so a lot of you saying hello. Hi, Betsy, good to see you. Suzanne says hi from Alaska. Awesome. All right, so Colleen got her mystery box yesterday. Amazing. How many of you out there grabbed up a mystery box last Tuesday when we launched them at sulky.com? They are really going fast. So I'm actually not even sure how many we have left, but I'm sure I can find out soon enough. But as you know, with our mystery boxes, they go really fast. They are full of so many fun products from Sulky. In addition, you will get 2 exclusive patterns. One of them is an embroidery design file for an In the Hoop project, and the other one is a sewing project. And those come free with purchase of your mystery box, and the items inside the box can be used for those projects, or we also provide an entire sort of lookbook landing page of inspiration to guide you through using the items in your box. So if something else strikes your fancy on that page, once you get your postcard that's in the box, you can head on over to that website and check out all of the inspirational projects. You'll also learn more about the products in the box if there's something in there that you haven't used before. So there's a lot of resources that come with our really great fun mystery boxes. So make sure to get one of those before they sell out, because once they're gone, they're gone. All right, let's see if anybody else has chimed in about their mystery box. Sharon says, my mystery box arrived Saturday. Love the boxes. Helen says, I also love the mystery box. All right, awesome. So make sure, if you've never gotten a mystery box before, they're so fun to open. I always say it's kind of like the show Chopped, but for sewing. You know, you open your box and it's a surprise as to what is in there and what you're going to make with it. So you can challenge yourself to make something totally interesting and new, just using your imagination, or you can use the inspirational links, patterns, projects that we provide as your guide and choose something to make out of the items in your box. All right, Leslie says, I already got my mystery box. All right. Excellent. Ooh, also, yes, as you can see on this image here, there are five $50 golden tickets that are up for grabs with these boxes. Let me know if one of your boxes had a golden ticket in there. And that means if you do have a golden ticket, it's worth $50 at sulky.com. So you can head to sulky.com. That will be added to your Sulky account, and you can use it to buy up all kinds of thread and stabilizers and more. All right. Sandra says, I got my box the other day. So many products. Awesome. All right. Perfect. Let's see here. What else do I have to chat with you about? Ooh. Oh. This is a big deal, everybody. Tomorrow is the last day to sign up for our Ireland tour with Craft Tours. This is happening July 27th to August 4th. This summer, I will be taking a select few to Ireland to see the beautiful countryside. We will go to the Cliffs of Moher. We will go to the Blarney Castle. We will do all the quintessential things that you want to do when you visit Ireland. Plus, I'm going to guide you through a sewing workshop. We are going to make something that commemorates our travels together. And I'm still developing this project, but I think everybody's really going to enjoy it. I'm incorporating a technique that's a little bit new to me, but I'm perfecting my skills with it. And I can't wait to share it with all of you. It's also going to incorporate some of the Filaine thread I was just talking about. And I'm going to be talking about this with both projects that I'm going to share with you today, which are some easy Easter sewing projects that you can create before this weekend so that you have a little bit of new decor if you're having people over. And they also make great gifts. So if you're going over to somebody else's house, you can make one of these and give it away to the host or hostess. And I also have a great project to share with you that's great for the little ones as well. You can also personalize it for adults too. All right. So again, all of the links for everything I'm talking about today are in the description of today's post. So you will likely only see a couple of sentences for the description of today's post underneath where I'm talking here. You can click on that little see more or more button, and the whole description will pop out while I'm talking here so that you can easily click on links and find the things that I'm talking about to grab up our applique template, head over to the Sulky blog, sign up for our Ireland tour, all kinds of things. If you do have questions about this Ireland tour, you can contact Craft Tours directly. Head on over to the link that I put in the description of today's post, and you'll find all the contact information for Craft Tours. If you have any questions for me about the tour, I have done many craft tours. This will be, I think, my fourth or fifth craft tour trip. So if you have any questions that you want to direct my way, you can send them to info@sulky.com, and I will be happy to answer any questions you might have because tomorrow is the day to pull the trigger. You can also let them know by tomorrow that you are interested, but you're still kind of making up your mind, and they may just hold a spot for you for a little while. But that is, up to them. All right. I do know that it is almost sold out as well. So if you're kind of on the fence, I encourage you to get in touch with them, get your name on the list so that you can join us for this fantastic experience. Okay, let's see. Ooh, also, while you're over there on the Craft Tours site, we also have a trip to Bali coming up in October. So if you love batik fabrics, if you want to learn all about the batik process, if you love ikat fabrics and you want to learn about that process, if you love elephants and want to go to an elephant sanctuary, we will be doing all that and more in Bali this October. So if Ireland is full when you go to register, you can check out our Bali tour and sign up for that one as well. And you'll have a little bit more time should you want to get on a payment plan with Craft Tours to make the payments a little bit more manageable for you as we reach our October date. All right, so lots of exciting things going on in 2024. still here with Sulky and Craft Tours. Also, our next webcast is happening in a couple of short weeks, everybody. This is our free Treasured Threads Faux Patchwork webcast with Amy Barrickman. That's right. Amy Barrickman is going to be joining us on April 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for this faux patchwork webcast. And what's faux patchwork, you might be asking? Well, basically, we have a kit prepared that includes Amy Barrickman's Treasured Threads fabric panels. Here's what they look like. This is the one called Missouri Star. This is the one called Postage Stamp. So this is a fabric panel that includes basically pre-made quilt blocks or pre-printed quilt blocks and motifs that you can fussy cut or cut out in different ways to create a variety of different projects. And Amy's going to take us through a number of projects, but we're mostly going to be focusing on upcycling a denim jacket. So this trend of these kind of quilty jackets or jean jackets with either quilt blocks on the back or quilty little elements to maybe cover up stains, rips, tears, that type of thing. This trend is really not going away. When I was at QuiltCon a few weeks ago, people were sporting their jean jackets with quilt blocks on them and creative quilting techniques, sashiko stitching, all kinds of things on denim jackets. And it ends up being a modern take on sort of a vintage looking wardrobe piece. Like, I know those words are kind of contradictory, but it's really, really a neat way to display a quilt block or a fussy cut motif and add as much or as little quilting as you like using heavyweight sulky threads. So this is the front of one of the denim jacket varieties or inspirations. And this is another style using that patchwork postage stamp quilt panel. So you can see it looks like we've pieced together all these tiny little fabric squares, but it's all pre-printed on the quilt panel. And you'll fussy cut it to fit different areas of your jacket. You can also do this with a pair of jeans. You can do it with a denim or canvas skirt. You can create something entirely new because the fabric panels also come with 3 patterns. So you can make an eyeglass case, a crossbody bag, or a zippered pouch using the patterns that come with the fabric panels, and you can create something entirely new. Amy's also going to go over some more inspiration for things you can create using the fabric panel. So one fabric panel could create one jean jacket if you want to put, patches kind of all over it. Or you can use it for a little panel maybe on the shoulder and then use it for all of these other great projects as well. So one panel really goes a long, long way. This is another example of a jacket with the panel all along that back shoulder section. I think this is a really cool take on it, especially if you have shorter hair where you're not covering all of that up. And then if you look really closely, let's see how large I can make this. Hopefully it doesn't get all blurry on you. If you look really closely, the panel is also then embellished with a little bit of hand stitching. So you can use a running stitch, a blanket stitch. You can even use this thread in your sewing machine. You just need a large enough needle to accommodate the thickness of the thread. So all of these fabric panels, these 2 fabric panels that we're featuring in the kit, they're all designed after vintage textiles, vintage quilts, vintage artwork of Amy Barrickman's collection. And she's going to be talking about that during the webcast as well. So I think it's just a really, really great versatile, fabric panel. And I think you're going to love hearing Amy's story, her couple of different proprietary applique techniques that you can use for covering patches or traditional applique. This is that crossbody bag with portions of the quilt panel or the fabric panel added to the top of that crossbody bag. And I just absolutely love the motifs. It's just such a cute way to display these quilt blocks, and most of the work is done for you, at least as far as the patchwork patterns go. So you save a little bit of time using these really cool panels. You can see all the different styles featured in the Missouri Star panel. That's our first colorway kit that's available. You'll get the fabric panel as well as a collection of 12-weight sulky cotton threads out of Amy Barackman's Crossroads thread collection. And you'll also get a pack of Amy Barackman's favorite fusible stabilizer. This is a 100% polyester fusible batting, and you use that to give your fabric panel pieces a little bit of loft, and it's also fusible. So then you can fuse it to your jacket portions, sew through all of the layers, and you have a really cool quilty piece, and you're kind of breathing new life into what could be an older, well-worn denim jacket, pair of jeans. You get the idea. You can even put these on a canvas tote and make it look super designery, super quilty, really fun. And Amy's going to give us all the how-tos and tips for hiding all of those raw edges after we apply it, how to use the fusible batting, how to create patterns using your jacket or your wardrobe piece that you want to cover up, how to do her patch applique method. There's just so much to learn during this webcast, and it's absolutely free. So this is the Missouri Star colorway. It comes with the coordinating thread and the fusible batting. This is the postage stamp colorway. It comes with coordinating threads and the fusible batting as well. So you can choose from either colorway or grab up both. They're on sale already at an amazing price of only $39.99 for the kit. And as I mentioned, it comes with enough materials to create well more than just one project. So it's a great value, and I think you'll all enjoy working with these fabric panels quite a bit. So definitely sign up, register for that webcast. As I mentioned, we will be going live with Amy Barackman on April 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You're going to want to sign up at sewingonline.sulky.com. And if you can't join us live, register anyway, because Amy is giving everybody who registers and heads on over to sign up for her email list, you will receive a free pattern from amybarackman.com. All that information is there. Once you register for the webcast, you can click on over, grab up your freebies, and add this event to your calendar. And if you can't join live, you can sign in anytime after the live event and watch the entire thing on demand when it's convenient for you. So you won't miss a minute of the action. You just won't be able to participate in our live chat with Amy Barackman. That's the benefit of joining in live. We also have 2 amazing door prizes we're going to be giving away during that event. Threads, stabilizers, kits could be yours simply by registering for the webcast. So sign up, put it on your calendar, and I hope you can join us April 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, so shall we get to our easy Easter projects? You know, Easter is a little bit early this year, so it's kind of sneaking up on me. I've got to chat with the Easter Bunny and make sure that he's got everything that he needs in a couple of days to visit the kiddos. So if you're in the same boat and you need some easy Easter projects that you can create over the next few days and have them ready for the weekend, then this So What is for you. First off, I'm going to be making this super simple tea towel. This features a bunny applique. It's a little bit hard to see in this picture. Let me see if I can enlarge it. These 3 little bunnies have fuzzy tails that I've created using that Filaine thread that I was just talking about, which happens to be our giveaway today for one lucky viewer who is watching and engaging with the post, giving me those emojis, saying hello in the chat, etc. It's all you have to do to be automatically eligible to win today's gift from Sulky, which is our Egg Hunt Filaine 6-pack thread assortment. The little bunny tails are created with free motion stitching, but you can also whip stitch or really hand embroider those tails by hand. And I know a lot of people have this aversion with hand sewing, but we're really just sewing 3 little bunny tails and it'll take no time at all. But it's even easier to do it free motion style on your machine. So first off, you'll want to grab the cute little bunny applique templates from the Sulky blog. I link directly to the blog post so you can head on over there, grab up this PDF and print it off. Now, it comes with 3 bunnies. You can enlarge them and do 1 bunny. You can do just a pair of bunnies. You don't have to do all 3 like I did, but certainly that is available for you. So you'll print that out, and we're going to apply our Sulky Perfect Applique Fusible Web to the wrong side of our applique fabric. So you can see I have the paper side facing up, and I'm just going to fuse that to a piece of fabric. Now, I had a really cute bunny motif fabric, but any sort of springy fabric is going to do because we're going to cut them into the shapes of bunnies after all. So dive into your fabric stash. You really don't need a lot of fabric for these 3 little bunnies. So low to medium temp iron, we're going to use the Perfect Applique Fusible Web. It's a very, very lightweight fusible web that's also very strong. So it's great for towels because towels go through a lot of washing, a lot of wear, a lot of usage. And we certainly don't want our applique fabric to be this bulletproof paper feeling thing when we're using a towel. Because even if we put this out as a decorative towel in our bathroom, somebody's bound to use it, right? And that's really the point of towels. We want it to be, malleable. We want it to be nice and soft. So that's why we're going to use that Perfect Applique Fusible Web, the greatest stuff on the market. All right, so after we fuse our fusible web to the back of the fabric, we're going to transfer our applique pattern. Now, you could do this before you fuse the fusible web to the fabric, but I like to do it afterwards because generally I use a pencil when I am transferring appliques to the Perfect Applique Fusible Web, and I don't want the pencil lead or any other sort of ink, what have you, to transfer to my iron while I'm fusing it. So that's why I am doing it afterwards. But certainly you can transfer it using a different sort of pen or pencil or marking tool of your choice onto the Perfect Applique paper side before fusing it as well. So to help me outline all 3 of my bunnies, I am using a Daylight wafer thin light box. Love this tool. We have them at sulky.com. I showed this off, I think, a couple of weeks ago. And so many of you said, I've got to have that light box. So put it on your wish list for Mother's Day, Christmas, birthday, what have you, because it is a little bit of an investment. It's $150 or so, depending on whether you get the small one or the large one, but you won't regret it. It's an amazing tool for transferring appliques. You can even get a cutting mat that is sized for the light box, and it's particularly manufactured to go with the light box, so you can actually cut over the top of it, and the light shines through and allows you to see what you're doing really, really well. So at any rate, transfer your little bunnies to the paper side of your fusible web. And here I am using my pencil. As you can see, the light box makes it really, really easy. I also like to, when I'm offering an applique design for everybody to print out, I use a pretty thick line weight for the outline of the applique. And that also helps you, see it a little bit better if you are transferring it through the fabric. Just, another thing you can do if you print out an applique that has a light line weight, you can just go over the top of it with a Sharpie before you go and transfer it. And that way you can see it a little bit better as well. Now we don't need to transfer our tails quite yet. We're actually going to transfer the tails on the fabric side. So we've just got our bunny outlines, and now we're going to cut them out. After cutting them out, I turn them over so the fabric side is facing up, and I'm going to transfer my little bunny tails onto the fabric right side. So at this point, I want to use a removable fabric marker of some sort, whether it's a heat removable or a chalk pen or something. So outline your little bunny tails onto the fabric side. And there I have them outlined. One of them's a heart. One of them looks like, popcorn. And one of them is a little swoopy circle. All right. And you can change these too. You can do a heart bunny tail on all of your bunnies if you would like. So that's entirely up to you. So now we're going to set our machine for free motion quilting or free motion embroidery, or let's just say free motion. Now, if free motion, just the thought of it is giving you stress, please consider taking our quilting session called Free Motion for Beginners. This is an amazing resource that's going to give you tons of videos, lots and lots of help along the way, how to set up your machine, how to sit at the machine, how to even hold your hands, and what type of posture to have. I mean, we go from the basics of setting up your machine, getting the right presser foot, all of it from the very, very beginning. And then we take you through some different quilting styles as well. And by the end of the quilting session, you will be creating your own mini sampler quilt, which is featured right here on this page. So again, if free motion is freaking you out, consider signing up for our free motion quilting session. It is an on-demand educational opportunity at sewingonline.sulky.com. It comes with 9 or 11 something videos that you can access at any time. There's no expiration date on this quilting session. So once you register for it, it is stored in your personal library at sewingonline.sulky.com, and you can access it whenever you need a refresher. It comes with a quilt pattern, and it comes with quilting templates that you can use, print out, transfer to your fabrics, etc. So there's a lot of value packed into this quilting session, and I highly suggest you check it out if dropping the feed dogs on your machine is something you've never done or something you're scared of doing, or maybe you've done it in the past but you're not super confident. I highly suggest you check that out. So for these little bunnies, first off, we're going to remove the paper backing of our bunnies, and we're going to place our appliques onto our towel of choice. So I chose a basic tea towel. These tea towels that we have at sulky.com come in white or natural. You can get single ones or you can get them in packs. So if you want to create a set of 3, or you want to create one of these and gift them away to a host or hostess, friend, what have you, you can have a pack of tea towels at the ready. They're great for machine embroidery blanks. You can get those really cute embroidered recipe card designs and put them on these types of towels. They're very lightweight. They are wrinkly by nature. They're supposed to be. I like the look and feel of them. They're more of like a dish drying towel, but they're very multi-purpose. So that's the towel that I chose. You could go with 100% linen towel, really a towel of your choice that is going to be able to withstand the fusing of your appliques. So keep that in mind. If you do go with more of a loopy, like terry cloth towel, you'll want to make sure you see the fiber content, what it's made of. Is it going to melt under, heat of an iron? In that case, you want to go with a different towel. All right. So we're going to remove the paper backing of our appliques. And actually, I think that is in the wrong spot because, oh, no. We want to remove, excuse me. We do want to remove the paper backing, but we're not fusing anything yet because before we fuse our bunnies to the towel, we are actually going to sew their little tails. But we don't want to sew the tails through that paper backing, okay? So, apologies, I forgot this step. So this is a Filaine thread in a large king size spool. You don't need a spool that's this large just to create your little bunny tails. You can get away with our 50-yard snap spools. And that's what's going to come in the 6-pack Egg Hunt Filaine assortment that is today's giveaway for one lucky viewer. So the 50-yard is plenty. You can get a white color, off-white, egg crew, whatever you want your little bunny tail to be. And we're going to use a size 116 universal needle. It's a big needle because we need the needle eye to be large enough to accommodate the thread thickness. Not only is this a 12-weight thread, but it also has that texture to it, which is adding even more weight to the 12-weight, really, if you think about it. So we need that needle eye to be extra big. Now, because the needle eye is big, that means the needle is pretty fat as well. So we want to stabilize our bunny applique a little bit during the free motion process. It's also going to give us something to kind of hold on to when we're moving that bunny tail around to create our fluff. So I put the bunny applique over the top of a piece of Sulky Tear Easy stabilizer. So I didn't fuse it at all. I just put it over the top. If you want, you can use a little bit of KK2000 temporary spray adhesive to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. But the minute you put your needle down along the outer edge of that transferred bunny tail, it's pretty much going to anchor it in place. So you don't really need to worry too much about it shifting while you're sewing. So now I've got that Tear Easy I can hold on to, and I set the machine for free motion, meaning my feed dogs are down. I have my large needle in here. I'm using a 60-weight bobbin thread. So a bobbin thread that is much, much lighter weight than that 12-weight Filaine. Because what we're doing is adding a lot of dense stitching inside of our little tail outline. We actually want to do long and short stitches. So if you think about hand embroidery, a long and short stitch really just means we're taking one long stitch and then a shorter stitch next to it, and then a little bit longer stitch, almost like blades of grass, right? But we're going in the direction of our tail with those long and short stitches. Then we're going to come in where those short stitches are and do another short stitch until we reach that outer edge perimeter that we drew. Either maybe it was our heart tail or our popcorn tail or the circle swoop tail. So we're going to start with our needle down in the outer edge, and we're just going to do a sort of running stitch or a straight stitch around our design perimeter for the tail. Then we can go in and start filling it with those long and short stitches. And you can even overlap them a little bit if you would like. You can make these stitches as dense as you want them to be, as your needle allows. Okay, you don't want to do too many stitches because then your needle is going to start struggling to go through all of those layers. So keep that in mind as well. Once you have your little tail complete, you'll complete your other two bunnies, and then you can brush up that Filaine thread to make your bunny tail come to life. It's going to start looking like a fluffy little cotton ball with, all this cute little texture. Where is my towel? I'm going to have to grab it. And you can brush it as much or as little as you want for the look that you're going for. So see how fuzzy that ends up being? going to try to show that to you. So it gives it a really great texture and 3D appearance. And again, you can brush it up as much or as little as you like until you get sort of the fluff factor that you're going for. And what I love about this is, unlike just gluing a little cotton ball or something, not cotton ball, but, pom-pom, to your little bunny tail, or to act as your bunny tail, this is going to have a lot more longevity to it because it's thread, right? It's basically embroidery. And again, if the free motion freaks you out, thread a hand sewing needle with the Filaine and just do several stitches along your applique until you have your dense little bunny tail, okay? So don't be put off by the notion of free motion. That should be a commercial. You heard it here first, everybody. All right, so after brushing this out, now, there's just a little bit of the process of brushing it out. Now we're going to tear away the stabilizer. I like to leave the stabilizer intact while you're brushing because it's stabilizing that fabric, right? It's not really going to move out of place. So it allows you to kind of go after the thread with your Filaine wire brush, and, you don't have to worry about it moving around on you, or you like catching, the edge of the applique or something. So then we'll simply tear it away from the stabilizer, and you can repeat the process for your other two bunnies. I should mention too that this is a great way to use up smaller stabilizer scraps. So after you have done a embroidery design using Tear Easy and you have a little square left, put it away, put it in your stabilizer notebook if you have one of those for reference like I do. And then when you have a project like this, you have a little bit of a scrap that maybe is too small to fit in a hoop. This is a great use for that. So tear away your stabilizer, repeat for your other bunnies, and now we get to place our bunnies onto our towel of choice. Again, a tea towel, something lightweight. I wouldn't go with a loopy towel unless it can, withstand the heat of an iron. So what I did here was I actually took my applique template that I printed out because the bunnies are spaced so nicely on it, and I put it behind my towel as a reference for placing my appliques. So I didn't have to get out, 5 rulers and chalk mark up my whole towel. All I did was fold it in half lengthwise, finger pressed it so that I had a little center fold line mark, put my applique template behind it, and then I placed my fabric appliques. At this point too, you could add some KK2000 if you're not right at your pressing surface when you place your appliques. So now I've got my appliques in place, and I'm going to take my low to medium temp iron and fuse those in place. And you can just take the tip of your iron and go around your bunny tails first, and then you can fuse the rest of your bunny. And that way you're not crushing your thread or anything with the iron. All right, and now the back of our bunny tail stitches are completely concealed. You won't see them on the wrong side of your towel. All right, so now that everything is nice and fused, we can take it over to the sewing machine, and we want to sew the outer edge of our appliques. So as you can see here, I just set my machine for a straight stitch. I used a light blue or light teal thread color in our 50 weight cotton, which is a really nice, lightweight, long staple, 100% Egyptian cotton thread. I used the same thread in the bobbin so that it would match nicely on the wrong side, because you will be seeing the wrong side of the towel. So I wanted the little outline of the bunnies on the wrong side of the towel to be just as cute as the top side. You could also use a bobbin thread color that sort of coordinates with your towel, and that way it really blends into the wrong side of the towel and doesn't become, a design point. So that's up to you. So I just did a stitch about 1/8 of an inch inside of the applique edge. Now you can choose the decorative stitch of your choice. You could do a blanket stitch if you want a little bit less of a raw edge look, but I like the look of raw edge applique. It kind of goes with my home decor. So I just did a nice straight stitch right inside of the bunny appliques. And honestly, after you have completed that, your towel is done. If you want, you can add some little accoutrements to the bunnies. You could put a little bow, using your Filaine thread on one of the ears. You can add eyes, all kinds of different ways to personalize this. You can also use 3 different fabrics for your 3 different bunnies, and they would all have a little bit of a different look and yet still be coordinating. So there you go. All right, super simple, quick and easy, little Easter bunny towel. You can give it away as a gift or hang it up, for the next week or so until Easter arrives. All right, the next project I want to share with you also utilizes the Filaine thread, this time for a little bit of hand embroidery. So I talked about using Filaine for handwork if the free motion notion scares you. But you really need to do this project by hand. It is a personalized rope basket for Easter. Now, this rope basket, I will confess and say, I found it at Target. And it's super cute. It has a bunny face and some ears made out of rope on the other side, which I'll show you in a minute. And I was just at Target over the weekend and they still had this available, but I don't know if it's still available in your neck of the woods, but Target had a number of rope baskets. Now, this rope is much thicker than the clothesline rope that you might be familiar with if you've taken our creative rope baskets embroidery session. And if you haven't, you can still sign up for that and learn how to make your own rope baskets. We also have some clothesline rope and rope basket kits at sulky.com, so you can create your own rope basket and personalize it really for any time of year. You don't have to grab up an Easter themed basket that has the little Easter ears and bunny face, or bunny ears and bunny face on one side. You can use any basket for this, and then the recipient can use the basket all year round. All right, so this is a great way to personalize maybe a rope basket that you've made yourself or that you have purchased. All right. So first off, we're going to print the name of the recipient, or maybe you want this to say Happy Easter, or maybe you want it to just be, spring, or whatever word or phrase you want to print out. Just keep in mind the scale that you are printing, because as you can see, the name that I'm using, Jackson, for my little cousin Jackson, he has a rather long name for a basket. So you want to keep that in mind when you are sizing up the name that you're using. So choose a font that you love in a word processing or graphics program and size it appropriately for your basket. And we're going to print it out onto a sheet of Sulky Stick and Stitch Stabilizer. This is our fabric-like water-soluble stabilizer that's printable. They come in 8.5 by 11 sheets. And when you are printing on them, you want to set your printer for the lowest ink setting possible. Sometimes it's called the draft setting. If you don't have that option with your printer, it's okay. Just let the stick and stitch kind of have a moment or two to sort of dry or, sink into the product. That way, it doesn't transfer to your skin or transfer to your basket because the ink is still kind of drying. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, after you print out the name, you are just going to cut it out. Leave yourself a good size border. You can see I have about an inch or so border beyond the outer edges of the name that I printed. And that's because when you start working through the sort of thickness of the rope basket, it'll have a tendency to kind of want to not really shift, but almost like peel up around the edges. And you can simply just use your hands and put your sticker back onto your basket. But having a little bit more of a border is just really helpful. You can also kind of hold on to it with one hand while you're working your stitches with the other. So place it on your basket where you would like it. And again, mine kind of wraps around a bit because I wanted the name to be really large and readable and impactful. But if you have an even larger saying, just keep that in mind, how you're going to display it. Where is it going to go? Is it going to go on a shelf? You might want to stack your words if you're using 2 words, that type of thing. So have fun with your design. Treat this just like stickers. They are repositionable and removable. So you can, put them in different ways, cut out motifs, whatever you would like to do, but put that on the outside of your rope basket. All right. Now it's time to do the hand embroidery along your printed lines. So I chose to do a chain stitch for this. Basically, you bring your needle up through the wrong side and create a loop. Then you're going to bring your needle up through the loop and create your first chain stitch. If you would like a hand embroidery reference, we have one of those at sulky.com that shows you diagrams of some basic hand embroidery stitches. So this is me starting that chain stitch, and there's the loop that you'll bring your needle back through and pull it tautly to create your next stitch, and then you continue going along. It's kind of like a lazy daisy stitch, but instead of securing the loop at the top of the daisy petal, we're continuing with another petal and so on. So that's why it's called a chain stitch. All right. So I will say, when I started out with this, I brought my needle up through the wrong side of the basket, and I started basically between 2 rope rows so that it wasn't too difficult to bring my needle through the rope. Now, as I started, I still continued to move my needle in and out of the basket. Well, I'm not going to lie, I wore a thimble and I still managed to poke through my finger several times because of the weight of this basket. Had I made my own rope basket and used the thinner clothesline rope that's at sulky.com, I would not have had such trouble getting through this rope. But as I kept stitching, I kept thinking, how can I make this easier for myself and everybody else that I want to teach this to? So what ended up working much, much better was, instead of going all the way through the basket, I went through the superficial outer layer of the basket rope fibers. Instead of going all the way through, I just picked up a little bit of those fibers with each stitch. So much easier, so much better, and I didn't have any more injuries, let's say. So you might want to do a little bit of testing depending on the basket thickness that you're using. But I was able to just kind of put my needle through a little bit of the rope, just enough to secure the threads and to not be able to see it through the rope as well. And I'm using a black Filaine thread for this because, again, I like that look of the sort of yarn-like embroidery. I think it gave it a little bit more like crafty appeal, a little bit more like vintagey look to it. So that's what I went with for my thread choice. But you might want to get a little bit more colorful with yours. And you'll see, I'll show you the front of the basket and you'll see the Easter bunny face that's on it. So I was coordinating my thread a little bit with that as well. But you might want to choose something brighter, the recipient's favorite color, etc. All right, so once you have your embroidery all complete, and yes, I will enlarge this so you can, it's a little bit difficult to see the detail of the chain stitching here, but it produces a really nice, thick looking, pronounced embroidery with that 12 weight thread. And I just really love the look of it. Oh, okay. And I did use 2 strands of it. Now, 2 strands is equal to 4 strands of your traditional embroidery floss. So I did use 2 strands to give it that really great looking coverage. And then with the chain stitch, it just was a really, really cute little touch. So after our embroidery is complete, we are going to take this under running water and rinse away all of that stabilizer. And notice how I have the project kind of at an angle and the water is running off of the project. So in case there's any ink left over in that stick and stitch sheet, I want it to run off of the project and into the sink. I don't want to soak my bowl in that and have the product lift up off of the bowl or basket and kind of shift around and attach somewhere else. That would transfer the ink that I used to print on to my stick and stitch onto a different portion of the basket. So instead, you want to make sure that your running water is running off the project into your sink or into your bathtub. I also like to use a kitchen sprayer, something that has a little bit greater water pressure to it so that it does help kind of slough off that water soluble product. But eventually it is just going to dissipate into the water down the drain. You can flush out your drain with some more water. A little bit, warmer temp water has a tendency to work a little bit faster than cool temp water as well. Here's just another view where you can see I'm kind of tipping up the basket to make sure that the water is flowing off of it and not soaking on top of it. And after all of your stabilizer is dissolved, you'll just want to dry your basket thoroughly. Just set it on a towel, and I dried mine a little bit in the sun, and it's looking great. At this point, you can also kind of reshape your basket a little bit. So if it got a little wonky during the stitching process or during the stabilizer removal, a little bit of that stabilizer you can leave behind as long as the outline of it, is mostly gone. If you can kind of feel a little bit of stickiness to it, then you can reshape your basket a little bit. And when it dries, it will be a little bit more substantial and stand up nice and proud on its own. So after that, your project is complete. You can fill it with your favorite little Easter goodies and gift it to a little one for Easter. You could also gift this to a friend, maybe with their last name on it, or welcome, or something like this. Doesn't necessarily have to be for Easter alone or themed for an Easter basket. It can be any type of basket or a basket that you make using one of our creative rope basket kits. We also have base rope basket kits as well. And we also sell just the clothesline rope if you want to create just a basic basket using your own poly deco thread in the needle and bobbin. And then you can add things on like the stick and stitch and the bunny hop Filaine assortment pack. And you can embroider your own using hand embroidery. Or you could take our creative rope baskets course and learn how to add machine embroidery to your homemade rope basket. So many different options, but it's really time for baskets. With Easter, we got May Day coming up. How many of you out there do May baskets for your neighbors? I love that tradition. It just reminds me of my childhood so much. So that would be a really special way to gift a May basket as well. All right. So I did mention I would show you the other side of this basket as well. As I mentioned, I found it at Target. Not sure if they still have them in your neck of the woods, but it was such a great basket. Here is what the other side looks like. So little ears made out of the rope. You could easily do this with some leftover clothesline rope if you make your own rope basket. What a cute idea. And they're just zigzagged on along the inside of the basket, just along one of those rope rows. So it's pretty inconspicuous where they are added. And then just a little bit of thread for the whiskers and some little felt eyes and felt nose. So you could easily use sulky felty and some more Filaine thread or even our 12 weight cotton petites thread to create a little bunny face on your own homemade basket, and just add a little bit of paint or even watercolor to create some little cheekies on your Easter bunny. So this could easily be knocked off, no problems at all, with our sewing talents for sure. All right, some of you are saying, I've never heard of making baskets. Oh, she says, I never heard of May baskets. All right, so when I was growing up, I don't know if it's a Midwest thing or if it's universal, but when I was growing up on May Day, which is May 1st, you would go around with a little basket of treats. We always made little construction paper baskets, maybe even with some pipe cleaner, handles, something like that. Fill them with treats, candies, or flowers, things like this. And you go and anonymously put them on your neighbor's front stoop on May Day. It's kind of like getting booed for Halloween, right? Nobody knows where it came from. And it's just a kind thing to do. And I grew up doing that around my neighborhood as a kid, a great activity for kids. But anyways, you can let me know if you've heard of that or not. All right. Stacy says, I have this basket in blue. I love the idea of putting my nephew's name on it. Can't wait to try. Yes. All right. Great. Perfect. Okay. So a couple of other things I also wanted to discuss, because as we are seeing March come to a close, that means that National Quilting Month is also coming to a close. And I've been talking about a lot of quilty projects throughout the month, but kind of to close out National Quilting Month, since we're talking about all of this handwork today, I wanted to show you our new Talk Quilty to Me gift tag. This is a cross stitch kit that we've put together at sulky.com. It comes with this gift tag cross stitch blank. It comes with the Talk Quilty to Me design, and it also comes with all the threads that you see in this design as well. This makes a great gift in and of itself. If you know a younger person maybe, or even just a friend who is kind of wanting to get back into cross stitch or learn cross stitch, or even just learn how to sew, get the mechanics of it, this is a really great kit. You learn, just how to make those X's. There's really, it's almost foolproof because this blank has these pre-drilled holes in it. So you just follow the holes, create your X's, follow the pattern, and it's a really great project for beginners and more experienced cross stitchers as well. Here is what the kit looks like. So you can see you get the little gift tag blank. You get 6 spools of Sulky 12 weight cotton petites and the pattern as well. So this is a really great exclusive offering at sulky.com. And super fun, really cute design. This also makes a really cute ornament. Some people were grabbing them up to put on their luggage or their laptop bags when we were at QuiltCon, and it was just super, super popular. So we had to bring it to all of you as well. And speaking of talking quilty to me, we also have our Talk Quilty to Me t-shirts available in all sorts of sizes, from extra small to 3XL. And this is a great sort of woman's cut. So it's a lot more flattering than, a men's t-shirt. And of course it says Talk Quilty to Me with the cute little quilty motif on it. So you can find this shirt as well at sulky.com. All right. So lots of information today. Couple of cute, simple, quick and easy Easter projects. Don't forget, our Ireland tour is closing tomorrow. So if you are interested in signing up, if you want more information, if you want them to consider holding a spot for you while you make your decision, you can head on over to the Craft Tours link that I put in the description of today's post. Check out our tour. If you have any questions about it for me, you can contact me at info@sulky.com. If you have questions for Craft Tours, or want to get on a payment plan to join us in Bali for October, you can head on over to that link I put in the description of today's post and hear lots more about our tours for 2024. I know several of you who are here today have gone on our craft tours, and you can attest to how absolutely wonderful they are. And I appreciate you all. It's a great, great time. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's So What. I hope you are compelled to head on over to to sewingonline.sulky.com and sign up for our Treasured Threads Faux Patchwork webcast. This is a free event with Amy Barrickman happening April 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't join live, add it to your library so you can access the information, freebies, all the information after the live event. All right. Thank you again for joining me today. Happy Easter to you and yours as well, Deb. And I'll see you next week for another So What?